ladies and gold tops in it though. Another wonderful Antoria. My word, I love these guitars. So let's have a listen and then I shall tell you what I can about it. Let's go. And unbelievably, yes, it is pickup time now, of course, but unbelievably, even after I did that step and a half bend, these old tuners still just kept it absolutely rock solid. So, starting with the bridge end. Into the centre. Sorry, onto the next. Let's see how we clean up. And so, again, starting with the bridge end on the clean setting. Into the centre. Onto the neck. Really nice. So let's have a jolly good look round. So right, let's face it. We're not even trying to conceal what we've pretended to do here, are we, you see? It's an absolute blatant copy of a Gibson Les Paul. However, wouldn't you have thought that, unless they thought that they were going to get away with it because of this, wouldn't you have thought they would have had the controls the same way round as a Gibson Les Paul, in fact, with the, volumes up here and tones down there? But no, instead we've got one you're on the treble selection here, or the bridge pickup, then you are on, then you've got volume and tone here, and of course on the neck pickup your volume and tone here. So yes, and very pleasingly what we do have is proper old school thumb bleeders on the, have we? What we have on this one is no old school thumb bleeders, which is a bit of a shame, so I quite like those. That's on another one I'm looking at the moment. So yeah, a very, very blatant copy with, of course, a stop tail and tunematic thing, gold top hats, and a really, really nice binding there. Of course, this is an old guitar. Now, the Ibanez lawsuit was in 1977, which is when that open book design, because of course these were made by the Ibanez Gaki factory, Fuji Gen. Of course, Fuji is Mount Fuji, Gen is stringed instrument, and Gaki is musical instrument. So, literally, it means a stringed instrument from Mount Fuji. So yes, starting at the top, we have the open book headstock, which is nicely bound, rather than a 2-point. So on a proper Gibson, you'll only have 2 screws, one at the top of the bell and one at the end, bottom, in fact, of the bell, rather than 2 here on either side like an Epiphone. So around the back here we've got these, it was, generally speaking, if you were a pro musician and you bought one of these, and many did, Marty Wilde, Jeff Beck, I think even Hank B. Marvellous had one. The first thing that went was those capped tuners. And that said, there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they really do. Like I say, I did a step and a half bend here. Rock solid. So hats off really to whoever designed these cap tuners that everybody seems to want to get rid of. And I suppose that the sensible upgrade was to bung a set of Grover Rotomatics in, because these are probably, I don't think they're even 14-1 to be honest. But they hold the tune. They feel a little bit, a bit stiff and what have you to use, but they hold the tune. So onto the neck. This is a really, really, really fast 60s skinny neck, and it is beautiful to play. The fretwork is absolutely fabulous, and really modern guitar manufacturers could take a leaf out of the Ibanez book in terms of fret finishing. Perfect. There's not a ripple in them, and the edges are so smooth it's like butter. So you've got, I reckon, certainly on, because specs aren't available for these anymore, obviously, what I reckon is a rosewood fingerboard, and I also reckon proper mother of pearl rather than mother of toilet seat inlays. Moving down to the Maxon pickups now. Although we know that this, because of the open book headstock, will be pre-1977, then it's difficult to date the guitar itself unless there's a serial number, which there isn't, or there isn't an evident one. So nothing on the front as a giveaway, nothing on the back as a giveaway, but we do have a neck plate, and very often the neck plate tells you stuff. But this just tells us made in Japan, which we knew anyway. And of course, we've got this tarnishing here. So if there was a serial number there, it is not visible now. However, the pickups, which are Maxon pickups, and they're rather nice, and they're popping out that nice sweet spot of late 7s. You'll see some pictures back here. You can identify the year accurately from the numbers on the pickups, and I didn't take them out like a plum and I just put the strings on. But there is also another indication, and that is that if the screws on the pole pieces are flat and flush to the Maxon, it tells you something, and if the screws are domed, it tells you something else. So that is yes. So we can accurately date the guitar from the pickups. But and I think that the flat flush mounted ones or the flat flush finished ones are the earlier variety. So it's probably early 70s, and it's been around the block, you know. But what do you expect for something of that vintage? There's a few, you know, dings hither and thither, and you know, a bit of and some paint checking, but it's no more than I would expect for something of this age. But of course, happily, there's no breaks, cracks, or big lumps missing. Sure, we've got you know, there's a couple of dings here and there. But the guitar is largely original. I note that the collar on the B string is a slightly different shape than the others, but hey ho, there's a little bit of something here, and that floor around there, if I can get that into the right light. But as I say, for 19, so it's 50 years old, isn't it? You know, and I would expect it to have seen some action. And speaking of which, and again, you will see pictures back here. This has only really been played down here, and there's a few cowboy indents in the first few frets along here. But really nothing of significance, and certainly nothing that affects playing. It's worth noting that around the neck pocket, there's a few, you've got the lacquer cracks there, but no gaping wounds, and certainly nothing that affects the playability or stability. Plays great. Action's about 1.5. I suppose with a bit of mucking about you could probably get it down if you wanted to, but it plays absolutely beautifully and really, really easily. And that is it for the Antoria Les Paul Gold Top. Skinny, isn't it? Unlike other people in the video. Alright, I'll say adios amigos. Ta-ra.